Hey, secret friends, welcome back to the Spotlight. This is our show where we, of course, talk to wonderful people in the pop culture space that make all of the stuff that we enjoy. And Peter and I are super privileged to be joined this time around by Mr. LaTeef Crowder. How are you this evening, my friend?
Doing great, doing great.
I love it. Good deal. Well, you are known most to us. You're one of the few hosts that we've or guests that we've had in a while that is involved in the world of Star Wars. And to thus of us geek origins, you are the Mandalorian. You are the guy behind the mask, and we're going to go on to learn about just exactly what all of that means as we get rolling. But yeah, that is where I always like to start. I would just like to talk to you about how you got started in the entertainment business.
Oh man, it was kind of fate to be honest. I wasn't really pursuing this business. Um, about 25 years ago, um, a group in the Bay Area started. A couple guys started a group of martial artists getting together and doing little small independent films. The group was called Zero Gravity.
Mhm.
Um, After that, I went on to just training in my martial art capoeira for years and years. Luckily, in about 2004, somebody contacted me for a movie in Thailand, and it was with Tony Jaa.
Wow.
And it was someone was able to see footage of me fighting or doing capoeira. And so, yeah, they flew me out there, and that was pretty much how I started my career. And I was like, well, maybe think I can do this. So I moved to LA
Yeah.
from Northern California and started pursuing this career and haven't stopped since.
Fantastic. And actually, I think getting to talk about martial arts is kind of where Peter's headed. So I'm going to let him take it away.
Okay, yeah. So you mentioned capoeira, and
Mhm.
I have to confess I hadn't heard of it before I started reading a little bit about your background. So could you tell us a little bit about that? You mentioned how like it helped get you into the one film, so that kind of jump started you into being in films. But
Mhm.
would you mind just telling us a little bit about that form of martial arts? Because at least I don't know much about it. So
Yeah. Okay. Well, capoeira is it's a martial art from Brazil that was created by the African slaves in Brazil. You know, it's a unique martial art, involves dance, music, and combative elements. And the
Hmm.
reason why for the dance and the music was to hide these combative elements because it was illegal to fight
Right.
in
that makes
Brazil
sense.
back in those
Yes.
times. So, and traditionally, my family's been doing it. I've been doing it for pretty much all my life. Um, and that's kind of how it's pretty much been every vehicle for, everything I've done, whether it's stunts, going to college, getting into athletics, getting into other sports. It's like my main vehicle. But yeah, martial arts doesn't mean that a martial artist is going to automatically become a stuntman. That's not
Yeah.
Yeah.
a prerequisite, whatever. But it definitely helps when you're doing action movies and fight movies and things like that. I just happen to excel in that area of stunts, but stunts encompasses a lot more than just fighting.
Right.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely wild. It's interesting. Speaking of people who are stuntmen, I was running a booth at a Comic Con a couple of years ago, and there was a man named Tom Morga who came up to me. And Peter and I are both big Star Trek guys, and Tom Morga worked in Star Trek in the '90s and the early 2000s. And
Mhm.
what he told me, he says, "I've been killed by every cast member of Star Trek: The Next Generation." Like that was his big badge that he was super psyched about. So in that vein, like when you think about being a stuntman and being on screen, any great kills that either you were killed or you got to whack somebody being a stuntman that just kind of come to mind?
Oh my gosh. You know what? Most of them, to be honest, happen a lot in The Mandalorian. There's
Yeah.
been so many great kills. I mean, some of them just, it's not going to be something so crazy, so extravagant, or huge. But I remember just one kill, I was just on the top of my head. It was a very simple scene, and it was actually got this direction from Taika. And it was, I think it was the end of season one, it was episode 8 or whatever, and we're all bunkered
Mhm.
down at the
Right.
bar
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Moff Gideon has us, bunkered down in there.
Tight, tight.
And he wanted to make a big impact when Mando came out. And so I was thinking of this big choreography and bust through the door. I come in and swinging and hitting this guy, and he's like, "No, just move the guy's hand who's right at the door, who's about to shoot you, and then shoot him in the face." And it was
Yep.
just one of those
Pew!
really simple but you know, kind
Yeah.
of kills that. I was like, oh wow, that's gonna go down in history.
Yeah. Awesome.
That's neat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Good
I
deal. Good
I think
deal.
it did have like a huge impact when I saw it
Yeah.
the first time. So it's just
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Those are
And
things like that. Like, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
yeah, I
That's
like those a
awesome.
lot.
That's awesome. Peter.
So since you've done a bunch of the stunts on a lot of these films and shows, is there one that you remember as your favorite and or the most dangerous?
Oh gosh, on any show or is this the
Any
Mandalorian?
any I
Oh
mean, if you
Yeah.
want to do
Yeah.
Mandalorian,
gosh.
great, but if
Take us
about
through it.
anything really.
They're all, I mean, it just depends. They're all kind of dangerous, in a way. They all hurt
True.
and
Yeah.
they're all dangerous. So it's hard to pick one. Um, Gosh, really hard stunts. Okay, I'll say this because Mandalorian's so fresh in my mind. We've been doing this for 7 years. So, I've been doing stunts for over 20 years. But
Yeah.
I would say the Mudhorn fight
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
early
was
on.
pretty brutal. Yeah, it was early on, and there was a lot of wires in that scene.
Mhm.
A lot of huge wires and a lot of ratchets, pulls, which is pretty much they hook up your wire to a machine that gives air pressure and it shoots you into the air. And
Ooh, jeez. Wow.
yeah, and so I had to like land on the ground a lot too because they wanted to see the impact of Mando getting his
Oh,
butt kicked by
that's
this
right.
mud
Yeah.
horn. So that one was pretty rough because the suit weighs a lot, and then the
Mhm.
stunt rigger guy who's doing my wires has to pretty much calculate in his head how much of the suit weighs and how much pressure he should shoot me out in the air, without hurting me and
Yeah.
everything like that. But, since everyone was very professional and good at what they did, it worked out pretty well. So,
Yeah.
but
That's
anything
wild.
could happen. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. What outside of the Mandalorian, so you say you've been going for 25 years.
Mhm.
What's a when you were first getting your start, like in a major motion picture, you mentioned the film in Thailand and other things past it. What's
Mhm.
a stunt that looking back on, you're like, oof, God, I'm just glad I made it through that one because it was so harrowing, or things could have like an inch this way, things could have really gone wrong.
My gosh, it's weird. So many. Uh, I don't do so much of the hairy stunts because of,
Okay.
I specialize a lot in fighting, and that's
Okay.
what I get
Okay.
hired a lot for. But anytime, I mean, I've gone through glass a lot, and I don't really
Mm,
think of, my career like that, where it's like, what is the craziest thing I've done? It's all
yeah.
pretty crazy, especially, the
Yeah.
way I go at it. But anytime I went through glass, I would say I went through glass on like every show, Heroes show, a lot of independent movies. Heroes was a TV series back in the day.
Right. Right.
Yeah, that's like in the beginning of your career, you go through a lot of tempered glass and you get cut a lot. And it's not just
Oof.
candy glass, it's real glass, and they'll
Oh,
they'll pop the
okay.
glass with a little charge first before you go through it. But it's real
Mhm.
glass.
Right.
And as soon as you land, you pretty
Mhm.
You're
much
in
get
glass.
shredded.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah, everything else is not a big deal to me, even whether it's a 40-foot high fall, which is not that high, but it's
Yeah.
it's high for me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right. I can imagine.
Mhm.
Does the Mandalorian outfit add any extra protection if you fall or get whacked or something, you kind of turn in the wrong direction, that kind of thing?
No, I would say a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe in the chest area. That's about it. But I really, everywhere else, I have to have my pads underneath. Because if not,
Yeah.
man, yeah, it'll hurt very bad. Just if I just
Yeah.
had the armor on.
That's
Yeah,
wild. My
yeah.
goodness. Looking back on the Mandalorian, then I'll kick it over to Peter, and
Hmm.
this went quick tonight because you just wow, a lot of great stories. But looking back on the Mandalorian, so that was a great explanation talking about that episode 8 scene.
Hmm.
As the series went on, what's another really standout moment? And were you involved in the film? I assume you were doing duties in the film that we're all going to see this summer.
Oh yeah, yeah, for
Yeah,
sure. Yeah, I was doing all the action on the film. Yeah, it was
yeah,
it was a lot. So,
yeah.
Nice.
but shoot, gosh, so much action, so much action. Season 2 was great. My fight with Giancarlo
Mm.
was an education.
Oh,
Yeah, in
yeah,
a good way. Yeah, in a
yeah,
good
Yeah.
way. But
yeah. Yeah,
yeah,
tell us.
so he's an amazing guy, first of all, and he's very passionate about what he does. We maybe had a time to talk about it a little bit in the week before we shot it, because he's busy, I was busy. We barely had any time to really rehearse. So
Oh
when we
boy.
got there in the morning, I pulled him to the side and said, "Hey, let's go, walk with some of these fight choreography scenes, so we don't hurt each other, or so we don't get injured or anything like that." And so we went to the corner. We started practicing our moves, slowly, one, two, three, four, five. Then we get on camera, and he just goes ham, man. He goes, he does,
Wow.
yeah. No, he turned it on, man, to the point where I had to turn it on. He brought up my skill level a lot.
Wow.
So yeah, he was swinging for the fences. Sometimes it was the right move, sometimes it wasn't the right move. But it's up to me as a fight, as a stunt guy, to
Right.
just kind of read his moves and try to do the block. And sometimes he missed and cracked me a few times, and
Yeah.
he pretty much broke. Let's just say he broke all the dark sabers over my
Oh,
head. Yeah.
over your head.
Over my head. Yeah, pretty much. He broke, and there was six of them or seven of them, I
Oh
believe.
Oh
my
man.
gosh.
Yeah, and Josh, the props master, started getting a little nervous and
Antsy.
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got a
Oh
little
my
antsy
god.
because those things are expensive too, man,
Oh,
Yep.
I
and
bet.
they take a while to make. So
Yeah, right.
yeah, he
Oh
ended
my
up busting
gosh.
seven of those over my head, and everyone started getting a little antsy. Even John was like, "Hey, man, you gotta slow down." And he come to me, he's like, "Hey, man, sorry." I was like, "Hey, man, don't apologize." He's like, "Just keep going at it, man. I think we're going to make history. Let's just do this, man. Let's go at it. Don't worry about me. I can take it." And yeah, we finished that scene, man. I was just proud of him, man. And as an
Yeah.
actor, you don't get to see that, especially an actor his age.
Yeah,
True.
that's what I was thinking too, and I didn't want to say because he's got to have a couple of years on me. I'm about ready to turn 50. I'm assuming he's in his 50s. But yeah, and that was of course just a couple of years ago. So man, that would be somebody I would love to meet and talk to because that passion and we talked to a lot of actors through the course of doing this series of interviews, and
Mhm.
yeah, it's wild. It's absolutely wild to see what people put into it. It's really
Yeah.
something. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, good deal. Peter, go ahead.
Um. So since a lot of the acting that you do is physical,
Mhm.
so it's mostly a lot of the motion and things like that. How much of the move that kind of motion acting and like the stunt parts inform how you embody the character? Because I know like not like with Mandalorian, a lot of people are like, okay, the character is a little bit different because like you have two different people doing two different things, but also
Mhm.
just with like the characters that you've done in other films, like
Mhm.
how the stunts are, how the way that how the way that you have to move with that character, how does that inform like how you make that character's presence on screen?
Right.
If that kind of makes sense.
I think I know where you're going. Well, first of all, like in the beginning, I had to work with Brendan Wayne's my brother, man. He's in the suit most of the time. He's doing most of the acting all the time. He's the first one on set, last one to leave. But we have to kind of talk and kind of mesh our skills together so it all kind of blends into one too.
Mhm.
Um, the way he kind of moves his helmet's very subtle. He's very stoic looking. And then so sometimes, watching him and us working together, even when I'm pulling a gun, he's like, "Hey, no, you got to kind of pull a gun like a cowboy." But then I kind of have to put my own spin on it too, because it's six guys in the room. So I have to be kind of,
Yeah, right.
snappy and quick and not so, stoic and cool. But also the suit helps me because it's kind of restricting, too,
Yeah.
underneath. And there's a lot of straps, and it's not as flexible. So if I was able to just kind of move like I didn't have a suit on, it wouldn't really show up on camera as well. It'd be kind of small little movements. I have to really exaggerate my movements in the suit, especially when I'm doing action.
Mhm.
And at the same time, I cannot see. So,
You're
Yeah.
right.
yeah,
It's a
so
slant. Yeah.
yeah, or here. So,
Oh, right.
when
Yeah.
I'm looking around, I have to really use my senses. I have to really have these sharp looks towards each character that each other stunt guy that I'm fighting or wherever I'm going. So, and also I have to have these guys yell out, when they're coming, because I can't really see. Sometimes it's dark. So
Mhm.
yeah, using
Yeah.
all your other senses pretty much.
Oh man.
Yeah. But yeah, it's definitely different than moving in without the suit, like in other things I did. I wish sometimes I'm like, oh my god, I wish I could take off these shoulders and and just kind of go off and
Yeah.
But to be honest, the suit kind of, once you put it on and you get in it, you get into this character and you kind of, it kind of informs you your, yourself. It kind of
Yeah.
informs me, the suit, that, how I should
Mhm.
move in it, how this looks. When John will say, Favreau will say, come look at camera to see how you look in it. And I look and I'm like, ooh, I thought that was faster. It was slow, I'm moving really slow. So I have to really boom, just to
Yeah.
make it sell on camera that it's violent.
Yeah. Wow.
Interesting.
Were you a Star Wars fan before that all came along?
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah, from the
Yeah.
trilogy. Yeah, I'm from the old school. My brothers
Me
and
too.
sisters, yeah, they introduced that to me back in the early '80s, and
Oh my
oh
god.
yeah, I've
Yeah,
been
me
a fan
too.
since. Yeah.
Yeah. What does your family think about you being the Mandalorian?
Oh, they're psyched. Yeah, they're stoked, man. They love it. Yeah, like I said, my sister's the biggest fan. My sister and my oldest brother's the biggest fan. So,
Yeah.
yeah, they like it a lot. Yeah, they
That's
support me.
fantastic. And
Yeah,
I'll be right there with you. I'm sure at the premiere in a couple of months,
yeah,
Mando
yeah,
Grogu, man. That's
yeah.
awesome. Are they all still up in the Bay Area or
Yes,
down there
yeah,
with you? Yeah.
yeah.
Okay,
They're in the
cool.
Bay Area. Actually, my sister doesn't live far from Lucasfilms, and
Ooh,
yeah,
nice.
so yeah.
Nice. Have
Yeah.
you ever met George?
No, it's crazy. He came to set, I think, a couple times, and
Yeah.
both times I was in the suit, filming. But he would come and tour around his big groups, but I never got to
Yeah.
meet him. No, no.
Oh
You
man.
got to like
Maybe so-
wave as he walked
Yeah,
I was
past.
gonna
yeah. Just
say maybe
wave.
be Kismet. Maybe he'll come. Maybe he'll come to the premiere. You see him there.
Oh, I would
There
hope
in May.
so. Oh
That'd be awesome.
man, yeah, that would.
Yeah. This has been absolutely wild. And thank you so much for sitting down with us. Where can people find you next? What are some projects that you're working on right now?
Oh, right now I am working on my body and my health right now.
Aren't
So
we all?
yeah, so maybe you can catch me on Instagram a few times, but actually, Hollywood's kind of dead right now. Anyways, it's
I've
not too much
heard.
going on right now,
I've heard.
which
Yeah.
is okay for me. It's not, it's not the greatest thing, but I can use this time to enjoy other parts of my life as well.
Mhm.
Because when
Yeah.
we did that movie, it was pretty taxing, especially being in a suit. This time it wasn't a series; it was a whole movie for about six
Right.
months, 7 months. So
Oof.
it was just action the whole time. And
Yeah.
sometimes in a series, I might, go a whole week on, then I might get a whole week off so I can do the fight choreography for the following weeks and everything like
Yeah.
that, and make fun of Brendan and watch him and harass him on set and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah, this one
Gotcha.
had a lot of
Wow.
work.
What's that Instagram handle so people can check you out?
Oh, it's my full name is LaTeef Crowder dos Santos.
I'll look it up and copy it so I don't spell it wrong.
All
And I'll
right.
have you in our show notes. But thank you so much for joining us, man. And then listeners, thanks for tuning in. If you're watching us on YouTube, you can actually pop on over to our Patreon and find all of our interviews and content of Peter and myself talking to wonderful people like LaTeef Crowder. Thank you so much for being with us. And we'll see you out there.
All right. Thank you guys very much.
This podcast is part of the Secret Friends Unite podcasting network, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and podcast services around the galaxy, as well as video on our YouTube channel. You can support Secret Friends Unite by becoming a Patreon member, get bonus programs and more over at patreon.com/secretfriendsunite. Join our Discord community for even more discussions on all things geek. For all the latest updates on Secret Friends Unite, make sure to follow us on Threads at secret.friends.unite and visit secretfriendsunite.com. Find our merchandise at TeePublic and Redbubble. Thanks for listening, and may the Force live long and prosper.